really started as an idea to problem solve something. And what we were trying to problem solve at the time was to really understand our production metrics.
If you kind of go back to BIM and digital estimating, it connected parts of our business that were always so important but didn't necessarily have that connection or speak to each other. Once we kind of had that EST, BIM, CAM workflow, we really started to think about our shops as a differentiator.
The problem that we were trying to solve was really real-time metrics. So how do we tie our time tracking in our ERP to our digital fabrication file, which is telling us how much work is there. So once you combine the work and the time, you have live metrics. Once we had the live metrics, we started asking more questions. What can we do with all of this information? Well, yeah, it ties back to estimating, so how we can estimate these jobs more efficiently, but it also ties to how we schedule. So if we know what it is that we have in terms of work and how much time it typically takes us to do it, we now know what the throughput is going to be for our shop, and we start being able to schedule much more efficiently, and having that information really helped us.
We have a great team of designers in-house that help build our software. So they help us build our estimating software and also help our designers build their software, and we create a feedback loop so we know kind of what the metrics are at the end of the day. So we have a better understanding of what our labor should be, what our material costs should be, what our supplies factors should be, and how it loops back to what our estimating process is. So it's kind of a full circle. How did the job go? How do we estimate it? And then we can understand better of how to attack the next project.
We started thinking about, well, how could we make some automated metrics? And so, we sprinkled in a little of our ability to do some in-house software development, and we built a connection. We built a bridge between our ERP and our fabrication systems. And out of that bridge, we could, what falls out is pretty detailed and sophisticated metrics. And that's really the beginning of the journey to Hill Analytics, right? Is we didn't call it analytics back then, but we knew we were making a bridge between two systems.
Change management's always tough, especially with an organization of our size. To try to go and do all of this at once was very difficult. So that's why it's been a really slow growth. We've been working on it for over 10 years. And like I said, we started with just solving a problem. Once we solved that problem, we went on to the next problem and we solved that one. So that's why for us, Hill Analytics hasn't been a light switch. It's been a 10-year endeavor that's really allowed a lot of people to have some say into what it is that's being built. And because we built it ourselves, we were able to customize it that way.
And you look back and you realize you don't really have 12 or 15 isolated little bridges. You've kind of built a platform on which you can, better run your business and better run a connected business. And we call that platform Hill Analytics.
And then you think about tracking assets and just the whole logistics process. We went through 4 or 5 different variations of how we communicated as a company. Hill Analytics really brought everything together. It's been one of the longest running applications that we've used since I've been here. Powerful tool.
It tells me everything on the floor, from the coil line to the laser table to where it is inside the shop, fabrication-wise, all the way to the assembly area, and then also once it's scanned, I know if it's scanned and being shipped.
We started using analytics, like the world uses analytics now, and now it's kind of like our Bible we follow, on a daily basis, because we could track everything.
When I get to my computer in the morning, just try to navigate which jobs are the most priority. Gives me an opportunity to look at all jobs as a whole. Helps me prioritize what I need to do for the day and the week.
It's like the backbone of what we do. So Hill Analytics handles our ordering, it handles our foreman's look ahead. It's involved in every aspect of our trade right now.
We have somewhere around 42,000 square feet of stored items within the building. And Hill Analytics helps us capture those items and then share that information with every project or every person that should be on the project. Every time that piece moves, or if it's moving out of this building or to a different location, they're getting alerts through Hill Analytics. That way they can manage the project efficiently and know what's going on and where the parts and pieces are going.
That's where everything is combined together. All of our documents are issued for review, issued for construction, our spools, duct assemblies, everything travels to that spot. So that one big hub is where we release the information, it's where we get it. It's the same information where the shop grabs it from, the field grabs it from.
It's always work in progress. The format I see is it's all break down in the stages of the shop, so I can see where any job is. So like if somebody calls me and says, hey, I want my job 2 days earlier or a week earlier, I can see exactly where it's in the shop, and I can say, yes, I can, or no, I can't, depending on my workload.
And they keep developing more and more into that, putting 3D models in there for us so that we can see the actual bin drawing in there. It really helps us navigate and communicate with the foreman out in the field.
So I'm taking drawings from the model all the way to the shop floor to the job site utilizing Hill Analytics.
We have like what's called a Hill Amazon program where the field and the shop can place orders through this intranet or e-commerce platform requesting the parts and pieces that they need. Analytics ties it together, goes into a database that we manage, and then from a day-to-day standpoint, we're fulfilling about 30 orders a day between the team, which it's real critical because again, analytics helps us do more with less.
The more real-time information that we can give all of the project stakeholders is going to be more successful for the project overall. The days of I returned that tool or why isn't that off my job yet? I mean, they have a real-time view into everything that's on their job, and if something doesn't look right, it allows that conversation to happen sooner rather than later. It's not to say that there's never mistakes in our operations, there are, but the more visibility and transparency that we have into it allows us to be more effective.
I think there's a lot of room for people to look at the systems that they have right now and make them better. And so I think the next leap we're going to see is not science fiction fantasy over artificially intelligent robots running around pretending to be people. I think it's going to be people with the wherewithal and the technology at their fingertips to make their actual businesses, the things they do on a day-by-day basis, better. And I can tell you that's why we do this, right? Delivering that better product for our customers and having everybody in the business, one, able to be more effective, know they're more effective, but then also know how they're contributing to that solution for our customers. I think that's what really makes us feel good at the end of the day.